What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over all of the patch notes for Season 4 in terms of the buffs, the nerfs, the new team-up abilities, the team-up ability changes. There were a lot of stuff that happened this season, so let's get right into it. I'm going to go into the practice range and basically just show you guys everything that changed, kind of go over some of the value differences, what characters I think are going to be really good this season, what characters I think they might have nerfed into the ground, unfortunately. So right now we're actually going to start off with the team ups, just because the team ups are a lot easier to go through since there's only like 4 changes. Now, one of the main things is Magik lost her team up as an anchor, so she does not get the 15% damage boost anymore. But she does get this awesome team up now with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. Now, they actually did nerf Scarlet Witch. Actually, I'll just show you guys that first. So Scarlet Witch's C ability, I forgot what this is called. What is it actually called? Sorcery Surge. But so anyway, they nerfed this, and now it does about 50% less damage per second. I think each hit used to do 12, and now it does 6. So that's a lot lower than before. But Magik gets this awesome team up that's going to make her really, really good. So I'll explain how it works first, but then there's also a really cool combo with this. So obviously you press C over one enemy, and then it'll pull the enemy closest to it into a chain, and then it does damage over time. Now, what's good about this too is it's such a short cooldown for a really good team up for Magik, and then also it does obviously damage over time. And then as the enemies try to separate, it actually continues to slow them down even more. So again, imagine like you're playing a game and these people are trying to separate. They basically get stuck at around like 5-10 meters apart. So it works really well. And then after this, I'll show you guys actually a really nice combo to do with her. And then after that, we'll move on to the next team up change. So now with this new team up, there's actually a really cool combo that Magik can do. As you guys can tell, that's gonna be pretty disgusting. I'll show you how it's supposed to work. So basically what you want to do is you want to phase forward and actually place a demon kind of like in the middle of where you think they're going to be, so you get that extra damage. Then you're going to use the C ability, which I don't have yet, but obviously it's going to pull them together like that. Now her charge has a new ability where it charges about 0.6 faster, and it also pierces multiple enemies. So right there, obviously we have them both at low health, and then you can use her E if you want, slash, and then just finish with the melee. So this combo is going to be really, really nice for Magik, especially it's just going to open her up a lot more for more combos that she can do. And I don't know if you guys know, but as you hit this, it also charges her stepping discs or her portals faster by a second. So let me just use all my portals here. And then because I hit 2 right there, it just took away the cooldown by 2 seconds. For the next team up, we got BP. So I'm going to show you guys BP's team up. Let me know what you guys think about this one, because I am not the biggest fan of it. BP mains out there, how do you guys feel about what they did to your boy? They took off 25 HP of him. They gave him less vibranium shield. Now he gets this team up where he gets a shield where they bring him down to 100 health, and then it gets activated. Now it's like a 45-second cooldown. And the other thing is you don't get it triggered again. So like say I stay at 75 HP for the full 45 seconds. It doesn't automatically come back on. It only comes back on if you get hit again, like mid-fight. So it only gets triggered while you're actually in mid-fight. But the BP nerfs, it was pretty sad to see. I don't know how viable he's going to be this season. Then for the next team up, we did the Scarlet Witch, how hers is a little bit weaker. So now we could do the Thor and Angela one. Now Angela just gets 100 HP as the anchor, but Thor's team up is going to be really fun, especially if you're a Thor main, because she's going to be able to dive so much easier now. Where is this team up? Oh, there it is. All right, bet. So how this works is it's about 25 meters. I want to, let's see. Is it 26? Let's see. Oh no, I think it's 30 actually. So basically you throw a spear and then you dive into the spear. So you do double damage there. Actually, let me see. Let's do it up from up here. Almost missed that. All right. Let's see. What is this? 31? Yeah, so let's see if this works. Okay, so it's about 30 meters, a little bit less than 30 meters you can dive, but that's really nice for Thor. And now that we finished with the team up changes, we're going to go over the Vanguard buffs and nerfs. We're going to start with Thor just because we're already playing him right now. So one of the first things that they did is they increased the movement speed in his ultimate by 100. So whatever that means, but basically he can move about 15 meters now while he's in his ultimate. I think before it might have been like 10, maybe 5. I couldn't remember exactly how far it was, but now he can move up to 15 meters away, which is pretty nice. And there's a new effect to his ultimate too. Now this I think is a really good change, because now you can use Thor to kind of target tanks, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So basically after he lands in his ultimate, if they're still alive, they get stunned for about a second. So nothing crazy, but I do think that helps out Thor's utility a little bit. And now obviously he can dive a little bit more. And let's switch over to the next Vanguard that got changed. Now, Captain America got nerfed. A lot of people saw this coming. Basically what happened was Captain America had 2 seasonal bonuses. He had a health bonus, and he had a DPS a damage bonus. His damage bonus was 5%, and that just got taken away. So now Cap is doing 5% less damage. I'm not really sure how viable he's going to be after this change. You guys let me know if you think 5% of a nerf is going to do a lot, but I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect him, honestly. Then for the next Vanguard that got changed, we got Doctor Strange, and this is the new Doctor Strange skin that comes in the Battle Pass. So the first thing is they actually nerfed his health by 25. So he gets 100 seasonal bonus health. But what they did is they actually buffed his Maelstrom Madness cooldown by 2 seconds. So now it's actually 6 seconds instead of 8. So I think that's going to be pretty useful, especially how strong that can be after his ultimate and stuff like that. But let me know what you think about the Doctor Strange changes. You could do Emma. Emma's actually pretty quick. So Emma, the first thing they did is they actually nerfed her diamond form. Again, something a lot of people saw coming. So now say you take off the diamond form, it's actually an 18-second cooldown instead of 15 seconds. I think that's going to be a pretty big difference, but who knows. And then the other thing that they did, I can't show you guys because it's only against shields, but basically she gets like a certain amount of charge per second. It was 10 through shields, but now she only gets 5. So they nerfed how much charge she gets through shields, but again, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. I think her diamond form is going to be the main thing that we're going to notice next season. And then finally, one of my favorites, Peni Parker. She finally got a buff, and this one's pretty good. I like this buff a lot, actually. She got 2 buffs. One is basically a new ability. The other one's a buff. So this one I'll have to explain and break down a little bit because it's very confusing. So basically, her spider drones, right? Each one that hits now does an 8% slow effect to the enemy, and it lasts for 2 seconds. But it stacks. So for each drone that hits, it keeps going up by 8% until it hits all the way up to 40% in terms of a slow effect. Now, the only other thing with this that's a little confusing is the slow effect lasts as long as until the last spider drone hits for 2 seconds. So say each character just continuously gets hit through this net every 2 seconds, it just keeps resetting the slow effect, and it will keep stacking on to whatever the previous one is up to 40%. So a little confusing, but you definitely notice it when you see a bunch hit somebody. But here, I'll just let it stack up for a second so you guys can see, and then hopefully the first person here will see it slow down like tremendously. And you can see obviously right there how much of a difference that makes. Imagine that's a tank or something like that. And the other thing that they changed with Penny is her ultimate. So she used to put out a spider drone every 0.7 seconds, and now she puts out a spider drone every 0.5. So it's 0.2 seconds faster. I will say, as someone who has played a lot of Penny, it does seem better. So I'm curious how much this change is actually going to make a difference, but at least she's putting out more damage when she's in her ultimate, so that's a plus. All right, so now we're going to go back to BP. So just to remember, he did lose 25 HP as part of his nerf. And the other part is after you would spear, and then you would do the spirit rend or whatever his dash is, you used to get 30 health per dash through an enemy, and now you only get 25. So they nerfed it a little bit, how much bonus health he gets. Again, I think Black Panther is going to be a little bit harder to play this season. So I'm curious, how that's going to go, especially with that new team-up change. Then the next person we got is Blade. Blade's change, I need your guys' help for this one. Ready? So his sword got buffed by 2. So it does 2 more damage. It was 22, now it's 24. So this is what his sword looks like now. It definitely seems better. Now, the one thing I can't figure out, and I don't know if anyone else has tested this yet, but when you're in his Bloodlust form, it seems like it does more damage than before. I definitely have like maybe 10 hours on Blade or something like that, but it definitely seems like he's doing more damage than before. So I think it affects both forms. You guys let me know on that one because I really don't know. All right, next up we got Magik. This one is going to be very confusing. They added so many changes to Magik. So I'll start with like the new ability. So when you use her charge now, it charges what, 0.6 faster. So it used to take 1.8, now it takes 1.2 for anyone that's curious about that. But so that charges faster, and it does multiple enemies. And then obviously, like I said before, you get your discs back faster per enemy hit. So say I have like a 3-second cooldown and I hit these 2 right here, it automatically comes back just like that. That actually worked out perfectly. But so yeah, you guys can tell how much of a difference that's going to be for Magik. She's going to be able to use her portals all the time. Now, the one bad thing about Magik is they did remove her team up anchor bonus of 15%. So they buffed everything, but I'm going to read it to you guys because I actually crunched the numbers and it's not what it seems like. A lot of people thought they just balanced it out. They didn't balance it out. So let me just read through this, right? So first, her primary now does 1% more damage than before. This is like basically if you took the nerf of the negative 15% and added it to what she got this season, this is what it comes down to. So now her regular sword does 1% more damage per hit. Nothing too crazy. Then they buffed her melee by 18%. Now her punches do 18% more damage, which is huge. So that's really nice that she got that. Then we got her portal moves. So both of her swirl and her demon are about 4 to 5% weaker. Oh, hold on, let me actually show you what the demon looks like, because that you can probably see, because I noticed that. But anyway, so her swirl and her demon are about 4%, 5% weaker than before. But you got to remember, she's basically going to have her portals all the time now, as long as they're hitting this charge attack. So I definitely think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Then we got her ultimate ability, which got a buff and a nerf. So we'll start off with the nerf. So her E actually does 11% less damage now. So that's a pretty big difference. And then we got her whirl that they actually gave a 16% buff. So that's actually a lot stronger than before. And then the other two things that changed with Magik that aren't in the patch notes, but as someone who's played a lot of Magik, it definitely feels better. So for whatever reason, it feels like it's faster now to switch between her melee and her regular primary sword. It just feels smoother than before. I'm not sure if they just made the animation look less clunky or whatever, but it just feels better. And then her E ability, you really don't have to be as accurate. For some reason, it feels like they fixed her hitbox. So I'm not saying those are definitely changed, but it just feels that way for me. So hopefully that this continues into the regular season drop on Friday. And then next up, we got MoonKnight. Now, this is MoonKnight's legendary skin, which is pretty sick. I'll show you guys some of the sound effects because the sound effects are really nice. This is from the Battle Pass. So, I don't know. I like this skin a lot. And then his right click now, this is what they buffed. He has 2 right clicks, and it's a charge. So it takes about 4 seconds to get both of them back. But obviously, his right click is super important because he gets a lot of bonus health from it. So I think this is going to be a big difference maker for MoonKnight. And then one of the other sound effects I want to show you guys just is it's like a sonar beam off of his E now, which is pretty cool. The only thing I wasn't a big fan of with this mech type skin that he has is they didn't change the ultimate at all. So I don't know. I was expecting something else. I know they added a voice line at the end. That's a little bit different, but I was expecting more of a change. Then unfortunately, they nerfed my girl Psylocke. This actually might be a pretty big nerf in real like ranked games. So basically before, when you would right click with her, it would do 12 damage per each shuriken hit, and it would do 12 damage on the recall. Now it only does 8 damage on the recall. So how this kind of ruins her against 275 HP characters when you're trying to do that combo, or some people call it the one-shot combo. Basically, you would do obviously left click, left click, and it will leave any 275 HP character with just a little bit of health left. So now you have to hit them additionally. But obviously, in a regular game, they're going to be moving around. They're going to be healing each other. So this actually might be a big hit to Psylocke. I'm kind of waiting to see how that's going to go. But that's how they nerfed her this season. Scarlet Witchmane's going to be happy after these changes. So she got 3 separate buffs. So first, when she's in her phase form, or whatever you want to call this, she can actually be healed. She couldn't be healed before. Then she got 2 buffs to her ultimate. So first, her ultimate kind of drags people in now. It's about like 2.5 meters per second. But obviously you can fight it, so I don't really know how useful that's going to be. And then the other thing that they changed with her is now when you have Hulk in his ultimate form, it'll actually just completely degrade him down to Bruce Banner. So I'll show you guys right now what that looks like. Hopefully he should spawn in time. There we go. So even when he's in his ultimate form, he just gets completely degraded down to Bruce Banner. So that's pretty nice. I think those are pretty good changes for Scarlet Witch. She's definitely going to be more playable this season than she was before. And they actually nerfed Squirrel Girl too. There is one change that kind of buffed her, but I don't really think it's that much of a buff. So first, her primary actually only does 100 damage per hit now. It used to do 110. So that's a pretty big difference. And then the other change that they did, which I don't know, this might be too good, is her right click now does 50 damage instead of 35. So that's pretty nice if you want Squirrel Girl to be better. And then they also increased her cooldown for, this is a nerf, they increased her cooldown for the mammal bond. So this is when she would like reload and get everything back. So now before it would be about 15 seconds, or no, before it would be 10 seconds. And now it's 15 seconds that she has to wait before she gets that ability back. I think that's a pretty big difference, but we'll have to wait and see how much Squirrel Girl is actually affected by this. And then Bucky actually got an added effect to his Trooper's Fist. So this is pretty nice. Bucky got a little buff here. So Trooper's Fist does 2 hits. On that second hit, that debuffs enemies and actually makes it harder for them to move for about a second. So they can't use any of their movement abilities, and it kind of brings them down. It's going to be interesting to see how much Bucky like improves by this, but I definitely think it's going to be a helpful change. Now we can go on to the strategist finally. So to start things off with the strategist changes, we got Invisible Woman first up. So a couple things with her is her right click for her shield now. When enemies pass through this, Originally, they were slowed down by 30%. Now it's 35%, so it went up by 5%. Nothing too crazy there. They actually improved her ultimate, but her ultimate to me looks a little bit bigger than before. But anyway, so what they did with her ultimate is it now heals, what, 15 per second more? Yeah, so it used to be 165 health per second. Now it heals 180 per second. So at least that's a pretty nice buff there for Invisible Woman. And the other thing that they changed that they didn't specify yet is some people are saying that it slows down enemies that pass through this barrier by 20% as long as they're within range of it. But there are other people saying in the patch notes that enemies are slowed down by 20% just in general when Invisible Woman's nearby. I've tested this out in game and I've tested this out in here, and it's really hard to tell what the difference is. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that one actually changes. Then sadly for Loki mains out there, Loki got a massive nerf. So first, when you would use his clones, they would do 100%. They would do the same amount of healing, the same amount of damage that Loki would do. Now his clones do 80% healing and 80% damage. So his clones are going to be a lot less stronger. I feel like this is a pretty noticeable change. And again, it's going to be less healing. It's going to be less damage out of Loki. So that's a big hit. Then the other thing that they changed is actually I need to take another character for this. Hold on, let me switch this to Luna. But the other thing that they changed with his ultimate, they changed two things for his ultimate. So the first thing that they changed is when you would steal powers from somebody, it actually is going to last 3 seconds less for the ultimate. And then when the ultimate ability is over, it's going to be 2 seconds less. So Loki got a pretty big nerf to his, ultimate ability of basically stealing other people's ults. Again, that could be a big difference. It could be really nice because I guess you could DPS with Loki faster afterwards, but again, he's going to be doing less damage per second. So I'm not really sure how it's going to affect him, but I definitely don't think he's going to be as viable as he was before. Then everybody's favorite, we got Jeff. Jeff got a pretty nice buff. The only one downside is when you're doing the 100-meter thing that a lot of people would do with him. But so basically now when he activates his ultimate ability, it actually automatically deploys a healing pool for about, I think it's about 8 meters or, oh no, it's 8 seconds. And it heals about 100 HP per second. And then you can just go and place your ultimate wherever else to, go after the enemies. But the healing pool is pretty nice. I mean, I guess it's a good addition. The only thing is if you're trying to help out your team, but you also want to do the 100-meter thing with Jeff, you just have to pick and choose which one you want to do. But anyway, nice buff to Jeff. Nothing really too bad about that one. And finally, Luna Snow is getting a nerf. So what they did with Luna is her ultimate now lasts 2 seconds less. It used to be 12, now it lasts 10. Obviously, this is going to be pretty noticeable in crazy scenarios and end games and things like that. I'm just curious if this is going to butcher her or if she's still going to be one of the best strategists in the game this season. Now, Mantis also got a buff, but I kind of was expecting a little bit more. I still don't really see her played as much as I would like to. So when she would get movement boosts, they would degrade, well, they wouldn't degrade over time, but now they degrade over 2 seconds instead of just instantly going away. So now she has like a little bit more of a movement boost. Again, nothing too crazy. I do think they need to add a little bit more. And finally, we got Ultron, and I'm going to have to go downstairs to actually show you guys how this one works. So basically before, Ultron obviously would do 100% damage to bonus health, but now he does 125. So the most noticeable person you can do this on is actually Venom. Just to show you guys what it looks like. Where are you? There you are. All right, so let me set this up real quick. So basically now he does 25% more damage through bonus health when he's in his ultimate. I was kind of expecting more of a change. Where did this Venom go? I was expecting more of a change, but I can't complain. Ultron's still really fun to play, so hopefully they buff him one more time just to make him a little bit more viable in 2 healer comps, because that'd be nice to get some more playtime with him. But as you guys can tell, he does melt a little bit faster now through bonus health on enemies. I'm trying to get one more good clip for you guys, and then after this I'll show you guys Angela too, because I know a lot of people want to see Angela and how her kit works and all that stuff, so we'll go over that in a minute. But yeah, as you guys can see, it definitely helps out a lot. You can obviously take out a Venom now with his ultimate if he's just focusing the Venom. And now I'll switch over to Angela, and I'll basically show you how to use Angela's kit, how she works, everything like that. So basically starting off with the meter charges when she's in this slipstream. It's when she's flying forward. When she flies side to side or backwards, it doesn't charge it at all. It's only when she's going forwards. The one thing that is nice about this is you can charge it up pretty quickly, and it does basically double the damage that her normal spear does. Oh, well, that guy was already hit before, but hold on, I'll show you guys. Give me 1 second. Come on. There we go. So as you guys can tell, it's basically almost double, if not more than double the damage. Now, the other nice thing about this meter is it charges when she does her shift ability, which is her dash, that you can pick enemies up. and it can charge them up, and then you can use the dash afterwards and also send people even flying further back, because it provides a knockback too, which is pretty nice. And I think it's about 5 meters worth of a knockback. Yeah, it's about 5 meters of a knockback. So that's pretty cool. Now, in terms of your shift, this is how far you can actually take enemies. It's about 25 meters. Yeah, around 25 meters you can take them when they dive back. But again, obviously, if you're charging them far enough, you can also put it together with the with the primary charge ability. Just knock them even further back for another like 5 meters afterwards. So that's pretty good. Now, Angela also has a shield. It's just a personal shield, but it blocks 350 health. It regens pretty quickly. So that's nice. And I believe you can block some ultimates with it, which is pretty good. And then for her E ability is what switches her forms. Her E ability allows her to dive down about a 10-meter radius. It does AoE damage, and you can also generate bonus health while that's going on. So all the melee damage that you do generates bonus health there. So I'm going to drop down again and just show you guys, but you can stack up bonus health with her pretty quickly. Like right here, we'll probably get like 750 maybe. Oh, maybe even more. Oh no, 750 maxes out. That's what it is. 750, her bonus health pretty much maxes out. And then again, yeah, you can just go back up and into her flying form. It doesn't do any additional damage when you switch between the two. So when you go up, it doesn't, obviously do anything. And then for her ultimate, let me show you what her ultimate looks like. So her ultimate, you throw a spear. Spear basically tethers the enemies together but doesn't do much damage at all, and then you dive into it doing the AoE damage, kind of like the slam before, and you also generate bonus health off of when you do that. Now, ideally, I'm going to turn the cooldowns off so you guys can see how you ideally want to use her kit. This is kind of just more of a suggestion than anything. But this is how I like to use her kit for both her ultimate and for just general use. So I'm going to show you 2 combos on how you want to use Angela. So you want to have your meter charged just a little bit before you go to steal an enemy, and then obviously you want to steal them. So use your shift ability, it's going to charge, then you're going to hit them. Then you're going to switch to your slam ability, doing the AoE damage, and then switch over to your axes, obviously, because when you switch forms, that's what happens. And you're going to be able to melee, get bonus health, and just be able to take out an enemy really quickly. So I just want to show you guys one more thing for a combo with Angela's ultimate, and then an animation cancel that you can do with her. So just to show you how weak her ultimate is, you throw the spear, it just tethers them and does like 5 damage, but you can dive into it, and obviously that does about 75. So it takes a little while to kill 250 HP enemies, right? So I'm going to show you guys a combo that, again, you don't have to use. It might be more so situational, but it's definitely helpful, especially when you're dealing with somebody stronger than 250 HP. So you want to have your spear charged, or if you want, you can just do regular damage anyway. But do your spear charge, then you're going to slam down so you get the AoE damage. Then you can throw the spear, dive into it, and then obviously just melee whoever's left. I'll show you guys in real time what it looks like, because it is a lot better than just the regular ultimate. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys the animation cancel. Oh yeah, just so you guys know, the spear does reach about 8 meters away, so you can use that first, then switch over Q, and then just switch over your melee, and you're going to clear them out a little bit faster at least. And the other thing I want to show you guys is with her animation cancel. So weirdly enough, if you use her spear and then try to melee, you have to wait for the spear to come completely back. But if you do it the opposite way, if you melee first, you can spear instantly afterwards. So you're basically want to melee first and then use her primary. So I hope that helps. Hope you guys enjoyed today's videos on the patch notes, Angela, all the buffs and nerfs. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. It helps out a ton, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.